Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to work on a skill that can completely change the way you speak English. It's called thinking in English. Have you ever wanted to say something in English, but first you thought about it in your native language? Then you translated it into English. And by the time you found the right words, the conversation had already moved on. If that happens to you, don't worry, you are not alone. This is one of the most common problems English learners face. You may know hundreds or even thousands of English words. You may understand grammar. You may watch English videos every day. But when someone suddenly asks you a question, you still need a few seconds to translate your answer in your head. And sometimes you know exactly what you want to say, but you cannot find the English words quickly enough. That's why you may say, let me think. How can I say this? The problem is not always your English level. Sometimes the problem is the process your brain is using. You are taking a long road. First, you think in your native language. Then you translate your thought into English. Finally, you speak. This process takes time, and sometimes the translation doesn't sound natural. Our goal is to build a shorter connection. Idea, English, speaking. We want to gradually reduce the extra translation step. But remember something important. You do not need to force yourself to think in complicated English from day one. That would only make you frustrated. Instead, start with simple thoughts. Start with small ideas. Start with the things you already know. Then, slowly build from there. The first technique is very simple. Start with your surroundings. Look around you. What can you see? Maybe you're sitting in your bedroom. You can see a bed, a desk, a phone, a window, a chair. Now describe these things in English. For example, this is my desk. My laptop is on the desk. My phone is next to my laptop. The window is open. The room is quiet. These sentences are very simple, and that's exactly why they are useful. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are training your brain. You are teaching your brain to connect real objects with English words. Now let's make it a little more interesting. Instead of only naming objects, describe what is happening. For example, I'm sitting at my desk. I'm watching a video. I'm drinking coffee. My phone is charging. The room feels comfortable. The weather looks cloudy. You can do this anywhere. When you're walking outside, think, I'm walking to the shop. There's a bus over there. That man is wearing a blue jacket. The street is busy today. The weather is quite cool. When you're at work, you can think, I'm checking my emails. I have a meeting at 10. I need to finish this task. I'm waiting for a reply. When you're cooking, you can think, I'm cutting the vegetables. The water is boiling. I need to add some salt. The food smells good. These sentences may seem too easy, but don't underestimate them. Simple English is the foundation of fluent English. You don't need complicated vocabulary to begin thinking in English. You need to use the English you already know. Here's a small challenge for you. Look around you right now. Choose 5 objects. Describe each one in English. For example, this is a chair. It's next to the table. It's quite comfortable. Then choose something that is happening right now. Maybe you're drinking something. Maybe you're using your computer. Maybe you're sitting near a window. Describe it. I'm sitting near the window. I'm using my computer. I'm listening to an English lesson. Do this every day. You can practice for just 5 minutes. You don't need a special place. You don't need a notebook. You don't need anyone else. You can practice silently in your mind, or you can speak out loud when you're alone. The important thing is to create a habit. Remember, the goal is not perfect English. The goal is direct English thinking. The more often you connect your everyday life with English, the easier this process becomes. So don't wait for tomorrow. Start right now. Look around you. Choose one object and describe it in English. Then choose another one. Keep going. 5 minutes a day can be the beginning of a completely different English learning experience. In the next part, we're going to take this practice further. You'll learn how to use English while doing your normal daily activities, how to talk to yourself naturally, and how to stop translating every sentence in your head. So keep practicing, and remember, Don't just study English. Start thinking in English. Now let's take the next step. In this part, we're going to use English during your normal daily activities. You don't need to create special situations. Your everyday life is already full of opportunities to practice English. Think about your morning routine. What do you normally do after waking up? Maybe you turn off your alarm. You get out of bed. You wash your face. You brush your teeth. You take a shower. Then you make breakfast. Instead of doing these things silently, try thinking about them in English. For example, I just woke up. I'm still a little tired. I need to get out of bed. I'm going to brush my teeth. I need to take a shower. What should I have for breakfast? These sentences are simple, but they are useful because they describe things you actually do. You're not memorizing random sentences from a textbook. You're connecting English with your real life. And that's exactly what we want. Let's imagine you're preparing breakfast. You can think, I'm making some coffee. I need to boil some water. I'm going to make some toast. Where is the butter? I think it's in the fridge. I'm really hungry this morning. Notice how naturally these sentences connect. One thought leads to another thought. That's how real thinking works. You don't think in isolated vocabulary words. Your thoughts move from one idea to the next. So your English practice should work in the same way. Now imagine you're getting ready to leave home. You can think, where are my keys? I need to check my bag. Do I have my phone? Where is my wallet? Okay, I have everything. I need to leave now. Again, these are very simple sentences, but every sentence is training your brain. Now, let's talk about another powerful technique. Talk to yourself in English. At first, this may feel strange. You might think, why am I talking to myself? But don't worry, you're not doing anything strange. You're simply giving your brain more opportunities to produce English. When you're alone, describe what you're doing. For example, I'm putting on my shoes. I'm getting ready for work. I'm looking for my phone. I need to leave in 5 minutes. I'm going to take the bus today. You can even talk about your plans. For example, today I have a lot of work to do. First, I'll answer my emails. Then I'll attend a meeting. After work, I'll go home. Tonight, I want to relax. This kind of practice is powerful because there is no pressure. Nobody is waiting for your answer. Nobody is correcting every sentence. You can make mistakes. You can repeat yourself. You can stop and start again. The goal is to make English feel comfortable. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest problems for English learners, translating every sentence. Imagine you want to say, I need to buy some groceries. Your brain may first create the sentence in your native language. Then it searches for the English words. Then you check the grammar. Then you speak. This can take several seconds. And during a real conversation, several seconds can feel like a long time. So how can you reduce this problem? Start thinking in short English phrases. Don't build every sentence word by word. Instead, learn useful groups of words. These are often called English chunks. For example, I need to, I'm going to, I'd like to, I'm looking for, I'm trying to, I don't think, I'm not sure, it depends on, I'd rather, that's a good idea. These phrases can become ready-made building blocks. For example, if you know the chunk, I'm looking for, you can use it in many situations. I'm looking for my keys. I'm looking for a new job. I'm looking for a good restaurant. I'm looking for an English book. You don't need to create the entire sentence from zero. Your brain already knows the beginning. The same thing happens with, I need to call my friend. I need to finish my work. I need to buy some food. I need to practice English. One useful chunk can help you create dozens of sentences. That's why learning complete phrases is often more useful than memorizing isolated words. Let's practice together. I'll give you a sentence beginning. Complete it in your mind. I need to. Maybe you said, I need to study, or I need to go to work. Good. Now, I'm going to. Maybe I'm going to make dinner, or I'm going to watch a film. Excellent. Now, I'm looking for. Maybe I'm looking for my phone. Good. This is how you can train your brain to respond faster. You don't always need long conversations. Short mental exercises can be extremely effective. And here's another important point. Don't try to think in advanced English immediately. If you only know simple English, use simple English. For example, instead of thinking, I am experiencing considerable fatigue due to my demanding schedule, simply think, I'm really tired today. That's perfectly fine. Natural communication is often simple. Fluent speakers don't use complicated words in every sentence. They use familiar words quickly and naturally. So focus on speed, comfort, and clarity. Now, let's create a small daily exercise.
Tomorrow, choose one activity. Maybe you're traveling to work. Maybe you're cleaning your room. Maybe you're cooking dinner. During that activity, think only in English for 5 minutes. Describe what you're doing. Ask yourself questions. Talk about what you're going to do next. For example, I'm walking to the bus stop. The bus should arrive soon. It's a little cold today. I hope I can find a seat. After I arrive, I need to go straight to work. That's 5 minutes of real English thinking, and you can do this every day. Remember, you don't need perfect English. You need regular practice. The more you connect English with your daily life, the less strange English thinking will feel. And eventually, you may notice something interesting. You won't have to remind yourself to think in English. It will simply start happening. In the next part, we'll take another important step. We'll learn how English media can help your brain, how to tell the story of your day in English, how to ask yourself questions, and how to stop being afraid of mistakes. So keep practicing. Use the English you already know. Think small, think clearly, and most importantly, think in English every day.
Now, let's continue with some of the most powerful ways to train your brain to think in English. So far, you've learned how to describe the things around you. You've also learned how to use English during your daily activities, talk to yourself, and use common English chunks. Now, we're going to make your practice even more effective. One of the best ways to develop English thinking is to surround your brain with English every day. This is called immersion. Immersion simply means spending more time with the language. You can watch English videos. You can listen to podcasts. You can watch interviews. You can listen to audiobooks. You can even listen to English while you're walking, cooking, or traveling. The more English your brain hears, the more familiar the language becomes. But here's an important point. Don't just listen passively. Try to notice useful expressions. For example, imagine you hear, "I'm not sure what to do." Pause the video. Repeat the sentence. "I'm not sure what to do." Say it again. "I'm not sure what to do." Now create your own example. "I'm not sure what to eat." "I'm not sure where to go." "I'm not sure when he'll arrive." You have just taken one sentence and turned it into several useful sentences. This is a very effective way to learn. You are not only memorizing vocabulary, you're learning how English sentences work. Another useful exercise is to tell yourself the story of your day. At the end of the day, spend 5 minutes describing what happened. Start with the morning. For example, this morning I woke up at 7. I was still tired. I had breakfast and got ready for work. Then I left home. The traffic was quite busy. When I arrived at work, I checked my emails. I had a meeting in the morning. After lunch, I finished an important task. Then I came home. Now add your feelings. Today was quite stressful, but I was happy because I finished my work. This evening, I feel much more relaxed. This exercise is excellent because you're connecting English with your own experiences. You're not talking about someone else's life, you're talking about your life. And when you talk about something you actually experienced, it becomes easier to find things to say. You can also ask yourself questions. This is another powerful technique. Throughout the day, ask yourself simple questions. For example, what am I doing right now? Where am I going? What do I need to do next? What should I eat for dinner? How am I feeling today? What am I going to do tomorrow? Then answer those questions in English. For example, what am I doing right now? I'm working on my computer. What do I need to do next? I need to finish this email. What am I going to do tonight? I'm going to have dinner and watch a film. This exercise forces your brain to find English quickly, and that's exactly what happens during real conversations. Someone asks you a question, your brain needs to understand it, then it needs to find the words, then you need to respond. Self-questioning helps you practice that process. Now let's talk about something very important: mistakes. If you want to think in English, you must stop being afraid of making mistakes. Many learners wait until they can create perfect sentences, but that day may never come. You don't need perfect English to start using English. You need to start using English so that your English can become better. Imagine you're speaking and you make a small mistake. Maybe you say, "Yesterday I go to the shop." Later, you realize that the correct sentence is, "Yesterday I went to the shop." That's okay. You learned something. Next time, you'll be more likely to remember, "Yesterday I went." Mistakes are not proof that you're bad at English. Mistakes are evidence that you're practicing. So don't stop every time you make an error. Keep speaking. Keep thinking. Keep moving forward. Now, what happens if you don't know a word? This is another common problem.
Maybe you want to talk about something, but you don't know the English word. Don't immediately switch to your native language. Try to explain the idea using the words you already know. For example, maybe you don't know the word kettle. You can say, it's a thing you use to boil water. Maybe you don't know the word receipt. You could say, it's the paper you get after buying something. Maybe you don't know the word neighbor. You can say, the person who lives next to me. This is a very important communication skill. You don't always need the perfect word. You need to keep the conversation moving. And while doing this, you may discover the word later. You can then learn it and add it to your vocabulary. Now let's create your daily English thinking routine. You only need 5 minutes to begin. Minute 1, look around you and describe what you see. Minute 2, describe what you're doing. Minute 3, talk about your plans. Minute 4, ask yourself questions and answer them. Minute 5, tell yourself a short story about your day. That's it, 5 minutes. You can do this every morning. You can do it while walking. You can do it before bed. You can even do it while traveling to work. And once 5 minutes becomes easy, increase the time. Try 10 minutes, then 15. You don't need to practice for hours. Consistency is much more important than duration. 5 minutes every day is better than 1 hour once a week. Let's quickly review everything we've learned. First, describe the things around you in English. Second, use English during your daily activities. Third, talk to yourself in English. Fourth, learn useful English chunks. Fifth, surround yourself with English through videos, podcasts, films, and other media. Sixth, tell the story of your day in English. Seventh, ask yourself questions and answer them. Eighth, don't be afraid of mistakes. Ninth, if you don't know a word, explain the idea using simpler English. And finally, practice every day. Remember, thinking in English is not something that happens overnight. It's a skill, and like any skill, it becomes stronger with practice. At first, you may need to force yourself. You may translate sometimes. You may forget words. You may make grammar mistakes. That's completely normal. But if you continue, something will gradually change. You'll start finding words faster. You'll understand English more naturally. You'll respond with less hesitation. And one day, you'll notice that an English sentence appears in your mind before you even translate it. That's the moment you're building real fluency. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, spend at least 5 minutes every day thinking in English. Describe your surroundings. Talk about your activities. Ask yourself questions. Tell yourself about your day. And don't worry about mistakes. Just keep going. You don't need perfect English today. You only need to be a little better than yesterday. So start small. Think in English. Speak in English. Listen to English. Use English. And make English a natural part of your everyday life. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more practical English listening and speaking lessons. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment and tell us one thing you will start doing today to improve your English. Thank you so much for learning with me. Keep practicing. Stay consistent. Believe in your progress. And remember, don't just study English. Use English. Don't just translate English. Think in English. And don't wait for fluency. Build it one thought at a time. I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care and happy learning.